Good morning, everybody. I'm proud to be joined by an all-star cast of city leadership and city workers. Let me just run through a quick list for you for the record. So we have City Council Member Marnie Van Wilpert, who is chair of our city's Infrastructure Committee. Deputy Chief Operating Officer Ali Akuri is here. Yeah, you can applaud. It's fine. This is a good news story. We want people to feel good about infrastructure, right? Okay. James Nagelvort, the director of the city's new Strategic Capital Projects Department. Rania Amon, director of our Engineering Capital Projects Department. Chris McFadden, director of our Stormwater Department. Chris. Jorge Riveros, director of Transportation Department. Jorge, where are you at? Dapper gentleman. And Juan Guerrero, who's our interim director of Public Utilities Department. Water and wastewater, if you're wondering at home. And then last but not least, here from the Mountain View community, Gabriel Islas, also known as Mr. G, here, and he will be speaking in just a moment. I also want to just acknowledge that we're in Council President. Yeah, right, get up, Mr. G, right? Yeah, sorry. I stepped over your applause line. I apologize. I want to note for the record that Council President Sean Elo Rivera would like to be here. This is his council district, but he is, of course, doing his job over at MTS. He's a board member on behalf of the city at the Metropolitan Transit System. Those buses and trolleys don't run themselves, guys, right? We need to have Council President there doing good work, so we thank him for his leadership. All right, so we are here today at Mountain View Park, which is located in one of the many communities across San Diego that have long been waiting for the city to complete projects that will improve quality of life for its residents. The Mountain View community has long wanted to improve the sports courts here at the park to enhance the place where neighbors come to play. The plan is to replace the tennis courts with futsal court surfacing, refurbish the basketball courts, replace the fencing around the courts, and install new lighting. So new surfacing, new fencing, new lighting. This project is fully designed and ready to be rebuilt, but has long been waiting for the funding to actually do it. That changes this year. That changes with our Ready to Rebuild budget. We're going to fund the construction in this budget and get this project done. Shovels will hit the ground this summer. With a total of just over $900,000, that's real money to Mr. G and I, right? That's real money to you and I. But it is a relatively inexpensive infrastructure project, and it is hugely important to this community. And there's projects like this all across the city. And this is the spirit of which is behind our Ready to Rebuild budget. We know that San Diegans are tired of waiting. We have heard you and we are taking action. So I'm talking about park improvement projects in Mount Hope, in San Ysidro, University City, Claremont Mesa, Point Loma, North Park, South Park, Edgar Highlands down in the South Bay. This is inclusive of fire stations in Mid-City and Skyline Hills. I'm talking about stormwater projects in Mira Mesa, Talmadge, Mission Beach, Pacific Beach, and Old Town. And importantly, streetlight improvements in Kensington and Ocean Beach, and traffic calming in front of Longfellow Elementary School in Bay Park. We have more than $12.3 million planned for sidewalk upgrades in 600 locations across the city, plus traffic flow improvements, graffiti and weed removal, and tree maintenance across the city. Our capital improvements budget also dedicates more than $77 million to street resurfacing, an increase of $14.3 million over the current annual budget. All of you are mad about potholes, right? I know, yeah. I've heard. Oh, yeah. Well, we're doing something about it. We're also allocating dollars to complete updated street conditions assessment, which will tell us which neighborhoods need this attention the most and dedicate our limited resources to where it's at. So it's not about subjective, it's objective. It's inventorying every street, figuring out which ones are the absolute worst, and put the dollars there where they'll make the most difference. Over and above the previous allocations, I'm also proposing spending more than $11.1 million to improve and upgrade city facilities, repairing or replacing roofs, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, elevators, and parking lots. Many of you have been to many of our city facilities, libraries, rec centers. You have seen the deteriorating conditions and you want something done. This budget works on that as well. This budget includes $27.5 million in critical stormwater projects to protect our neighborhoods from flooding and to ensure clean bays and beaches for all of us to enjoy. We have been successful in securing a $359 million low-interest loan from the federal government to upgrade our stormwater collection system. And this budget includes nearly $9 million additional dollars to expand the department's capacity to perform the work for those funds. We're also proposing spending $343 million on improvements and repairs to our existing water and sewer infrastructure, so pumps, treatment plants, pipelines, and reservoirs. Indeed, many of these projects are funded in the budget, are community-based, and I'm excited about each of them because they will either be visible or tangible in neighborhood improvements that people can actually look at, see, touch, feel, and experience in their everyday life. They will help maintain critical systems that we all rely on, from running the tap at your house to flushing the toilet in your business. And then there are some bigger projects that I want to draw your attention to. And the biggest one of them all is Pure Water San Diego. This is a driving factor in the creation of our new Strategic Capital Projects Department under Director Nagelvort, so that he can continue to manage the Pure Water Project, which is the largest and most ambitious infrastructure project in the city's history, period. By 2035, Pure Water San Diego will supply nearly half of our city's drinking water and reduce the amount of treated sewage that we discharge into the ocean by about 50%. So more water security, less pollution into our ocean, that's a win-win. This is a huge boon on so many different fronts, not just what I just mentioned, but drought protection, climate action, and cleaner oceans. My proposed budget will continue the city's investment in pure water with an allocation of $349 million. We launched phase 1 of this project last summer, and to give you an exciting update on our progress, I can tell you that by this fall, all 11 projects within phase 1 will be underway. That's really exciting. Again, biggest project in the city's history. And I want to point out that's a lot of jobs, a lot of good paying jobs for local San Diegans that can help them provide for themselves and for their families. So all told, this budget is the largest infrastructure investment in our city's history. And that's what I mean about we heard and listened to the people of this city. For the folks who are tired of the roads being potholed, for the folks who are they're tired of seeing flooding and standing water in their neighborhoods, the people who are tired of substandard public facilities, this investment will help address many, many of those concerns. So, as I said last month when I announced this proposed budget, this budget is a reflection of our shared priorities, and it's reflective of what San Diegans can expect from the city. Solve problems, keep you safe, invest in our communities, and most importantly, get things done. With that, someone who has been a partner in getting stuff done all over the city is Councilmember Marnie von Wilpert, who, as I mentioned, is the chair of our Active Transportation and Infrastructure Committees. She's our initiative owner for this on the City Council, and I'm glad she's here today with me today. Councilmember von Wilpert, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, great speech. Good morning. Nice to see you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here and welcome. I've never been more excited about the group of people behind me who is dedicated to making sure that our city works for everybody and that everyone has a seat at the table when it comes to making sure our infrastructure gets built out the way our residents deserve. I'm City Councilor for District 5. My name is Marnie von Wilpert, and as the mayor said, I chair our infrastructure committee here at City Hall. I've watched our federal government finally get on board with the local cities across the country who've been asking for more investment in infrastructure. And finally, the federal government has done that by passing a historic bipartisan infrastructure law, $1 trillion coming down to local governments like ours to make sure that we build our city and keep it resilient for the next generation. I'm honored to be here today to celebrate our own historic investment in infrastructure. What I heard over and over from the federal partners is that we as a city needed to step up as well and invest in our own infrastructure and have matching funds so that we can draw down the most we can. So I really applaud the mayor for doing such a great job and leading the way to making sure that we are going to be the city that gets that money. For years, we know the city has underinvested in our infrastructure to the tune that finally in 2016, the voters voted for Prop H to actually require the city to invest money into our infrastructure contribution. And because of that and because of the mayor's leadership, we have a historic $28 million coming in for our infrastructure fund because of our increase in sales tax. And we're waiting for these projects. I just earlier this morning with the mayor opened up a park that took 20 years to build a 4-acre park. And finally, there were kids there today who, as soon as we cut that ribbon, were on the playground. And that's what we want to see here. You know, infrastructure is the building blocks of our city. We cannot have public safety if we don't build out the fire stations and the police stations and the ambulance bays. We cannot have a city where every child has an opportunity to get a great education if we don't build out the libraries for them to come to learn to read. We will not have a green, climate-friendly city unless we build the infrastructure of our city parks, our open space, making sure we preserve our oceans and bays. And that's why the historic investment in our stormwater system is incredibly important to us. I learned, as chair of infrastructure, that street sweeping isn't just about keeping our streets clean. It's about keeping our bays clean. Our street sweeping infrastructure actually is part of our stormwater department, as Director McFadden can tell you, because everything that goes down our drains on the street ends up at our bays. So please make sure you move your car out of the way for our street sweeping trucks too, because you want to keep our friends in the ocean safe and healthy. So additionally, I'm very excited about the over $77 million dedicated to street repaving. If we're going to have a resilient city, we need to make sure people can get to and from work safely and bike safely and scoot and roll safely on our streets and sidewalks. Make sure that every community is lit with our street lights. And the mayor has already made huge progress in helping clear the streetlight backlog that he inherited when he got elected. So he does listen to our residents. He listens to the council members. When we say, Mayor, we need these things fixed, he says, I'm on it. And so I'm very proud to be working under his leadership to make sure that we actually get our tax dollars to work and building the infrastructure people need every day in our city. So thank you very much. San Diegans should be very proud of this budget, very proud of their government today, and very proud of their community leaders for making sure that we do our jobs right. So thank you for being here. All right, and next I'd like to introduce our Director of Engineering Capital Projects, Rania Amen.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Councilmember Marnie, for introducing me. And my name is Rania Aman. I am the Director of Engineering Capital Project Department, and I'm the City Engineer. So Mayor Gloria's FY23 budget proposal is unique because it really reflects the current restructuring the engineering capital project departments and the strategic capital project departments is going through. And I have my colleague here, Mr. Negavord, with me today. He's the new director of this new department. While the two departments operate independently, they are committed to the same value and mission. We are constantly collaborating to achieve the most efficient and effective delivery of the city capital improvement program. Our shared mission is to deliver a high-quality infrastructure system, and our vision is to be innovative industry leaders when it comes to developing a sustainable and reliable infrastructures for San Diego. The proposed infrastructure investments in this year's budget will help us just do that. We made our budget asks of the mayor this year with the intention of funding the critical pillars needed to adequately repair and maintain our city's crumbling infrastructure. Flood resiliency and green infrastructure, stormwater program, design build delivery method so we can do a quick build mainly for upgrading existing city facilities and potential homeless shelters upgrade as well. A new project management office that was created in the department to leverage best practices and ensuring accountability. A grant support section to help secure new grant funds and ensure that we remain in compliance. In fiscal year 2023, we will complete an independent evaluation to assess the department's operations and provide recommendation and streamlining internal processes to gain more efficiency. This is in concert with implementing other external proposed streamlining measures will help us move toward a more efficient and effective CIP delivery process, which will aid addressing the workload and the capacity issues. And then the main goal is building more amenity, building more infrastructure much faster and more efficient. We are focused on increasing community engagement as well. We realize it's very important throughout the life of any capital improvement project that listening to the community input, the community needs. So during the rollout of a new project, will be important to have those ongoing conversation and engagement. That's going to increase transparency as well as the amount of the project delivery information that will make it prudent for the success of a project. I would like to thank Mayor Gloria for his robust and thoughtful budget proposal and look forward to all that we'll be able to accomplish because of it. Thank you, Mayor Gloria. With that, I'm going to hand it over to the champion of this community, Mr. G.
I don't know about champion, but hi, I'm Mr. G. And you know what, as I always start off, it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. It's about the community coming together and speaking their voice. And Mayor, we want to thank you for hearing us. I know that it took a while, you know, and we've been coming at you and telling you we need this, we need that, we need that, but we also have to learn that it takes getting the money together and finding out how to do that. And I appreciate you doing that. I know this is just a start, and I appreciate that. You know, the more lights we put in these places, the less darkness that will come to these places. And we'll get rid of all this stuff that's keeping our kids from coming out and having peace and resources and fun in the park. A lot of the big mamas that want to bring their grandchildren, and a lot of the families that have come to us and told us, hey, look, we got these guys out here doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, and I don't feel comfortable bringing my children out here. And that's what the park's for. But with the help of the churches, Captain Manny Del Toro coming up and helping me put these events together and these resources. I've talked with the principal of this community, and she's here today. And she shares with me what her children and parents tell her, because she's the one that knows these kids. She's the one that knows all the stuff that's going on within this community, because these are her kids. And she shares that with me. And what I do as an advocate is share that with the mayor and the people that can do the changes that are necessary. And with the help of, you know, the community, the people, you know what? Thank you so much for speaking up. And I'll continue on doing this. And if you feel that there's a need, man, I'm so happy that we're able to fulfill these things right now. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to see this happen, especially in my community. I was born and raised right here. And so to see that, I know a lot of people are going to be happy. And we just need that collaboration, breaking all those ignorance, all those barriers that people don't understand why people do what they do. We need to start sharing that with each other. We got to open up these things for our future, which is our children. And together we can do that. And you know what? I know that we all bump heads, but that's what family does. We bump heads, but then we come together when it's real serious. They say that we only show up we're E and C, Easter and Christmas. Well, we want to change that. We want to be here all the time with services and resources and letting them know, hey, here's what you can get and here's how you can get it, because a lot of people don't know, especially the lock-ins and the shut-ins. They don't know how to get to these services. But if we bring them to the park, all that dark stuff will go away, and we'll keep bringing help and resources to the community. And with the help of the mayor, Mr. Todd Gloria, man, I really appreciate you and what you're doing. I know you got a very hard job. Thank God I ain't got it. But I do appreciate you and you dealing with all the stuff that comes your way. It takes a strong man to do what you do. And I just want to let you know I appreciate that. And for the rest of us, when we get these things, come on, guys, let's please take care of it. We can't just destroy it. You know, if you see people out here doing it, tell them, hey, we worked hard to get this stuff. Don't just start tearing it up. That ain't what we're trying to do. We're trying to build these kids' future, and that's what we're working on. You know what? I thank you guys for having me as your advocate and allowing me to speak on your behalf. I'm just, like I said, it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. And that's what I keep in my heart and in my mind at all times. I appreciate you, and thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. G. From one Mr. G to another, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Let me just bring it home if I can, because what you heard are from the executive branch, the legislative branch of the city. You've heard from city staff and from community members, and you say it is a we thing. It is us working together to address this infrastructure. We didn't get into this situation overnight. We're not going to get out of it overnight either. But this collaboration and these relationships is how we will fix it. What you hear is an unprecedented, never before number of dollars going towards infrastructure. That's reflecting the concerns and the priorities that we've heard from the community. You hear us finding key projects in communities like this one here in Mountain View to actually help change this community with a relatively modest investment that we believe will bring not just a better play experience here, but more safety to this community. And importantly, I wanted to talk about a little bit about the future, and then I'll end with a quick thank you. Councilmember Von Wilper hit it out of the park. She's exactly right. It's not just about the dollars. That's just the start of the process, and we're looking forward to the council's ratification of this budget very soon. But after that, we have to do more, and that starts with, as she was saying, hustling money out of the state and federal government. You see the state has a massive budget surplus. Federal government's got the bipartisan infrastructure law signed into law by President Biden. We're going to go after those dollars. Some of the dollars we're announcing today will help leverage more of those dollars to make sure we can get more projects and more people to work. And then Rania was talking about some of the streamlining, some of the policy innovations to make sure that we do this faster. They know they have a mayor that is extremely impatient. I don't like how long it takes to get stuff done around here. People have been waiting too damn long, and we have to go faster. Rania gets that. Every director here gets that, and they're working to find ways to move things along faster and get these improvements in the neighborhoods. And I want to end there. Just like this Mr. G knows it ain't all about me. I have a team of incredible public servants who care deeply about this city and serving the people and the neighborhoods that we're honored to represent. And everyone from our directors to their staffs, many of whom are here, shout out to our grounds maintenance workers, to our rec leaders, to our park rangers, to our police officers. This grass don't cut itself, everybody. Someone's got to do it, and these folks do it with the kind of zeal that only a public servant can. Recognizing it's not just about cutting grass, it's about communicating that this city cares about its residents and that we'll do whatever it takes to serve them well. I deeply appreciate what all of you do to make this city work, and I'm grateful and excited about a budget that will allow you to do more of that work. So let's get this budget passed. Let's get these streamlining ordinances done. Let's go hustle that money from the federal government, from the state government, and let's pave a lot of damn streets because there's way too many potholes in this town. So I'm really excited about this. I appreciate you helping me get this word out, and I look forward to being in your neighborhood soon with some quality improvements that will make your quality of life better. Thank you all for being here today.